So, hello everyone. As you know, my name is Rex, and in software engineering, today's question is explain software design, why it is needed, and also its characteristics. So, we should know first about software design, what is it, and its classification. Then, we will move to its need and then its characteristics. Okay, so let's start. So, guys, software design is the process of transforming the requirements that are specified in the SRS into a detailed technical plan which describes how the software system will be developed, and it defines the structure, architecture, components, interfaces, data organization, and interaction among different modules so that the developers can implement the software more efficiently. And we can say, in other words, software design is the activity of creating a blueprint for the software before writing the actual program code, and it provides the detailed guidance regarding the organization of the system, the responsibility of each module, and the communication between different components, and the storage of data, and the overall behavior of the software. So, you can also say that it is the activity of software design. I mean, it is the activity of so first I explain that point, then so I was saying it is the activity of creating a blueprint for the software before writing the actual program code, and it is one of the important phase of SDLC, and it is carried out after the requirements of the software have been gathered and analyzed during SRS phase, which stands for software requirement specification. We already covered that question, what is SRS. You can see that video. So once the requirements clearly understood, software engineer here prepare a detailed design which serves as the blueprint for developing the software system. So next point is, we can say that a well-designed software system offers numerous benefits throughout the software development process, and it helps the developers to understand the structure of the application, and it also reduces the chances of programming errors and improves the communication among team members, also simplifies testing and makes the future maintenance much easier. And since in this every module is properly organized and documented, developers can modify or enhance the software without affecting the entire system. Overall, this software design plays a vital role in improving the software quality, also in reducing the development cost and increasing the customer satisfaction. You should remember those points like improving software quality, reducing development cost, and increasing customer satisfaction. Sometimes you can make your own points in exams. by remembering some these points. Even if you know a little about the concept, I'm talking about in software engineering, don't apply everywhere. So that I was saying last, I think you didn't see. So now let's understand the primary purpose of software design. So guys, the primary purpose of software design is to convert abstract user requirements into a practical and implementable solution. And here, rather than allowing developers to begin coding immediately, software design encourages careful planning so that the potential problems can be identified and can be resolved before implementation starts. As a result, software development becomes more organized, reliable, and cost effective. That I was This is what I was saying. This. So guys, also you should know a well prepared software design document also improves the communication among software architect, developers, testers, project managers, and even in clients. Since here everyone flows the same design document, here misunderstandings can be minimized and the software development process can become more efficient. So this is the point. Remember, sorry, this point I was explaining. So now let's talk about the classification of software design. So as you know guys, software design is a broad process which involves planning every aspect of a software system before its actual implementation begins. And since software system can be highly complex and can consist of numerous modules, software engineers divides the design process into different levels, and this classification helps them to focus on different aspects of the software in a systematic and organized manner. Therefore, software design is mainly classified into two categories: high level design HLD and low level design LLD. So let's first talk about high level design. So guys, high level design is commonly known as HLD, and it is the first stage of software design process, and it focuses on providing an overall view of the software system by describing its architecture, major modules, and the relationship among those modules. And instead of concentrating on implementation details, high level design explains how the entire software system is organized and how different components interact to achieve the required functionality. Apart from that, HLD or high level design act as the architectural foundation of the software project, and it helps the software architects, project managers, developers, and clients to understand the overall architecture of the application before the development begins. And since here design is prepared at a higher level of abstraction, it does not include programming logic or source code. Instead, it concentrates on programming level. Sorry, it concentrates concentrates on planning the software from a broader perspective. And if you want to know its definition, so in simple words you can say that it is a process of designing the overall architecture of a software system by identifying major modules, defining their responsibilities, describing their interactions, selecting appropriate technologies, planning database organizations, and establishing the overall architecture which is required to implement the software successfully. In simple words, high level design answers the question. And what is that question? How will the complete software system be organized, and how will its major components work together? And unlike low level design, high level design does not describe the internal programming of individual modules. Instead, it focuses on the remember that instead it focuses on the overall structure and organization of the software system. Okay, so apart from that, if we talk about its purpose, we can say that the primary purpose of high level design is to transform the functional requirements which is specified in the SRS into an organized architectural framework. This framework serves as a roadmap for subsequent stages of software development, including the detailed design, coding, testing, deployment, and maintenance. And we can say that for a large software system involving multiple development teams, high level design plays a crucial role because it ensures that every team clearly understands its responsibilities and how its module interact with the rest of the system. Okay, now apart from that, if we talk about its objectives or uses, so we can say it helps in defining the overall architecture of the, let's understand it in some simple points, like it helps in defining the overall architecture of the software system. It also divides the software into independent and manageable modules. It defines the communication between different software components, and it also used to identify the technologies and resources required for development. And apart from that, it also helps in improving the project planning and team coordination, and it also minimizes the architectural problem before the implementation begins. Okay, so next is low level design. Let's learn about that. So guys, after the overall architecture of the software has been prepared through the high level design HLD, the next step in software design process is the low level design LLD. As we know, high level design provides a broad overview of a software system, and but it does not explain how each module will be implemented. Therefore, software engineers prepare a low level design to describe the internal details of every module in a systematic and detailed manner. And if we talk about its definition in simple way, we can say that it is the process of defining the detailed internal design of each software module by specifying classes, methods, algorithms, algorithms, data structures, database operations, user interface behavior, validations, and exception handling mechanism which required for implementation. And we can say that if we say low level design, this answers the question. And what is that question? How will each module be implemented to perform its assigned task? Okay, so you should know low level design focuses on the implementation aspect of the software, and it explains each module, the logic that will be followed. Apart from that, this phase serves as the bridge between software design and software implementation. And once the low level design is completed, programmers have a clear understanding of how each module should be developed. As a result, coding becomes more organized, efficient, and less prone to errors. And in large software projects, guys, which involves multiple developers, low level design ensures that every programmer follows the same implementation strategy. This maintains consistency throughout the software system, and it also reduces the possibility of a misunderstanding or incompatible code. Okay, and if we talk about its purpose, so the primary purpose, remember that the primary purpose of low level design is to provide developers with a detailed implementation plan before the coding begins, and it eliminates the ambiguity by clearly defining how every module should function internally. Okay, so, and if we talk about its objectives or uses of low level design, so we can say that it helps in describing the internal working of every software module in detail. As we know that, apart from that, let's understand some more simple points about mm, this low level design. It also provide a clear guidance for software developers during implementation. It also helps in improving the accuracy and consistency of the program code, and it also used to simplify the software testing and debugging, and uh, it also helps in reducing the development time and programming errors, as since the developers receive detailed implementation instructions before coding begins, they spend less time, which makes the technical decisions during development more faster. And this also reduces the programming mistakes, and also helps in avoiding the unnecessary rework, and also helps in completing the project within the planned schedule. Okay, so now let's understand about the need for software design. So guys, let's understand the need for software design. With these simple points, you will understand that. I will explain each point so you can write in your exam more properly. Okay, so first is software design provides a clear blueprint for software development. So guys, as you know, one of the primary reason for preparing software design is to create a detailed blueprint for the entire software system. Just as the architects prepare a building plan before construction begins, just assume software engineers prepares a design before writing the program code, and this blueprint describes the structure of the software, the responsibilities of different modules, and the relationship among components, and the flow of information throughout the system. Okay, and because developers flows a predefined design, software development becomes more systematic, organized, and less prone to errors. Now let's talk about this point. It reduces the overall complexity of large software system. Yes, as you know, modern software system often consists of numerous modules, thousands of lines of codes, and multiple databases and several interactive components. And managing such complexity without proper planning is extremely difficult, guys. So software design would do here, it reduces the complexity by dividing the entire software system into smaller, independent, and manageable modules. Here, each module performs a specific function and can be developed separately. This modular approach makes the software easier to understand, develop, and maintain. Okay, so next is software design improves the communication among team members. So, as you know, software development generally involves software architects, programmers, testers, database administrators, project managers, and clients. You should know without a common design document, misunderstanding may occur regarding system functionality and implementation details. Software design here provides a standardized documentation which clearly explains the responsibilities of every module and the interaction between different components. This helps in improving the coordination among team members and also ensures that the everyone works toward the same objective. Okay, so guys, software design also, sorry, I already explained that, I left that point. It reduces the overall complexity of large software system. Sorry. So, mm, sorry guys, I think I am mistaking something. I already explained these two points. Now I will explain this. So, software design helps in detecting problems before the coding begins. So, guys, many technical problems you should know can be identified during the design process or phase rather than after implementation. Software engineers here can analyze the proposed architecture, can evaluate module interaction, and can identify the performance bottlenecks and can resolve security issues before writing code. And by detecting this problem earlier, this significantly reduces the cost of development because correcting design errors is, is much easier than modifying completed software. Okay, so next point is it also makes the software easy to maintain and enhance. So guys, you, software rarely remains unchanged after the deployment. New features are added, bugs are corrected, security improvements are implemented at that time after deployment, and business requirements continue to evolve. A properly designed software system allows the developer to make these modifications without affecting unrelated modules. This reduces the maintenance effort and increases the overall lifespan of a software. Okay, so guys, these are some remaining points about the need of software design. Let's also discuss them. So, software design also improves the overall quality and reliability of the software. Guys, a systematic design, you can say that a systematic design ensures that every module has a clearly defined purpose and they they can interact with other modules in a controlled manner. Such organization minimizes the programming mistakes, also improves the consistency, and can increase the software reliability. You can say that a well-designed software also performs more efficiently because unnecessary duplication and the complexity are eliminated at that time during the design process. Okay, so next is it simplifies the software testing and the debugging. So guys, testing becomes significantly easier when the software is divided into a well-defined modules, and in this each module can be tested independently before integrating it with the rest of the system. And since here every module has a specific responsibility, developers, I am explaining this one, developers and testers can quickly identify the source of defects here, and consequently debugging requires here less effort because of this, and this also makes the quality of software much better, or you can say that it improves the overall quality of the software and reliability. just make your own points after learning from these points. Okay. Last, it also support future growth and stability. Just think it as a maintenance point. Like after deployment, you have to be means a software design is like it should be like it can be maintainable. Sorry, it should be maintainable after deployment. So new features can be added much easier, or it can adapt with new technologies or you can say that future technologies. It can easily adapt with future technologies. And if we talk about this next section is characteristics of a good software design. Let's understand that. Let's understand it with some simple points quickly, because I already explained why it is needed. So I think you can make this point by yourself. Let me repeat it for you, because some points repeats many times in different manner. So guys, you can say that simplicity of design here makes the software easier to understand, develop, and maintain. Apart from that, it promotes modularity of software, which helps in dividing the software into independent and well organized components. As I said, these are some repeatable points. So I hope you will learn them. So also, it must be maintainable, which means it ensures that the software can be modified and can be improved easily throughout its life cycle. And we can say that a good software design encourages the development of reusable components, which allows the software components to be used in multiple applications. This also helps in reducing the development cost, also development time. Okay, now here software design should be designed sorry software here should be designed with scalability in mind, which enables the software to accommodate future growth without major redesign. Apart from that, there can be more characteristics like flexibility of design or security of design. Means if you talk about security of design, this means software should be designed in that way so that it can be safe from different kind of unwanted threats, cyber attacks, or other kind of threats. Okay, so guys, that's it for today, and thank you for listening to me. Goodbye. Bye bye.